All right, we're continuing on assignment 1, and I know my theme, and I've used Pixabay to get a lot of high-quality resource images. And there are lots more I can still get. This is the second page. But as I've downloaded those go to downloads. I now want to move them either to the desktop or, just to keep things a little bit cleaner, into my assignment 1 folder, into my reference folder. So I'm going to do that. Open up my downloads. I have a lot of junk in my downloads, but it's prioritized towards what's most recent. I'm going to take all of that, way more than 5, move it in to my references. Some of them are duplicates, that's fine. All right, now I can open up my references, and this will give me plenty to sketch from. Now what I like, I don't know if I had time to show this last class, is on a Mac, I don't need to open these up. I don't need to scroll through them on my phone in order to see them clearly. All I need to do is open the folder that I created for references and then click on these 3 dots and say Show View Options. And I can make those icons a lot bigger. I can make the thumbnails a lot bigger. And I can collapse the space between them a little bit, and I can organize them by name, right? So it's easy for me to kind of see what there is. I'll make them just a little bit smaller just for the use of this video. And I have some duplicates here that I can get rid of. But now I can see all of those references in one place. That's all of them. Now I'm going to open Photoshop, but you would just open your sketchbook, right? And I'm going to use those references to inform my sketches. And I know I want foreground, middle ground, background. So what can I use? And to make this clear, I'm going to go ahead and use red. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to fill that layer with white. If you remember onion skinning, then I'm going to take that opacity down. So it just kind of dims my black lines from before. And now, informed by this, I'll make a new layer and I'm going to paint with a dark red. So now I can use my sketches to organize the references I like the most. So I really like this foreground element, so I'm going to mark that green. And so for my foreground, I'm going to try this. It's the little ship hook with the ropes. And then sure enough, it goes to this kind of structure that's very colorful. And there's kind of a dock right there. So that's going to be my foreground. Then, what else can work for the foreground? There's this debris here, or these rocks here, and I can simply flip this. I can do this in Photoshop, but I can do it right here in preview as well. Just so you know, everything can be flipped. So these rocks, that kind of reference, is also going to be foreground. It's going to come from this one. So this is called shoreline. So I make little notes to myself. This is called ship 1-8. And then, let's see, what other ships do I really like? This one's beautiful. That's going to be in the far background. So I need a middle ground first, but I know I'm going to get back to this one. I love the look of this one. It's kind of upright, so that will be middle ground, and that will be over here. It has that nice spire like a puzzle piece interlocking the middle ground with the background. So that's shipwreck. Mark that green. And now we get into I want something that overlaps this that's really janky looking. but it needs to be fairly close. So maybe this thing, the rusted metal, that's going to obscure this kind of big building. So I'm going to call this rust. And now I have 4 references, right? And now I know I wanted to use this one in the background. So that's going to go kind of back here, smaller. So use the horizon line from this one. And then I need a sky, and this sky looks amazing. So that's the sky I'm going to use. So rust, and then ship 2. And then the sky, that's going to come from this one. So I just identified 6 different resources. You need minimum of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can build this scene with. And then, of course, I can use more when I need it. Make sense? All right. If I really want to practice this and get better at composition, the next thing would be to try to do this on a vertical format. That's not required. You just need one sketch. But for those of you especially who are interested in visual storytelling, it's a good exercise to have. So I'm going to do a different foreground here, and I'm going to use a different color. I'll use purple. So I like this boat, and I'm going to use that boat kind of cropped off. That's my foreground, like on the beach. And then the water stretches behind it. And then what's behind that? I'm going to show this shipwreck. Make that purple. So on the water, there's a boat kind of leaning this way. So that's shipwreck. I'll just call it purple. All right. And then sharing the middle ground, but going back a little bit into the water. Maybe I use this one. Which shows a nice boat and kind of a shoreline. So it kind of connects around. You see how we're going in diagonals, kind of leading the eye back from foreground to middle ground. And then what would be behind that? I could share reference from the ones I'm using for the other. So like this shipwreck, shipwreck 2. That might be interesting in the far background, but this one's really kind of cool. Kind of stretched out on the horizon there. So I'll make that one background. And then the sky, maybe I use this as like a background sky. Like this portion here. And I can always composite the sky from several sources. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, arranged. In a vertical format. So that's really kind of interrogating my resources. Now, of these 2 formats, right, this one would be framed in this way. Kind of a long landscape. And then this one would be more individualized. Portrait format landscapes can be really powerful for showing a character's point of view. So of those 2 compositions, what do you guys think is more interesting? And you can just kind of tell from the shapes, right? Like what's going to excite your eye. So can I have you vote? This will be number 1. This will be number 2. And you're going to give this same sort of kind of analysis to your own sketches if you're choosing between them. So how many think number 1 is the most interesting? Raise your hand. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. How many of you think number 2 is most interesting? Raise your hand. You guys are a little shy about it. Your hands are kind of low. So I see 1 hand. So it seems like number 1 is the winner. But I assure you, portrait format concept landscapes can also be cool. But yeah, this does seem to have a little bit more going on, especially with this foreground thing here. I'm excited about that, especially for all the color. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and save this, is to post your sketch, to get it onto your computer and to post it to Canvas. So for me to do that, I'm going to save this as a JPEG. So I say File, Save As, make it a copy, save it as a JPEG to the desktop so I can know where it is. Because I'm going to be referencing this. Right? So there it is. That's my sketch. That's the first thing that goes into Canvas for you. Assignments are different than exercises, like it says in your course outline, because assignments, you have to submit something by the deadline in order to get credit for them. Doesn't mean you have to have it finished and perfect by the deadline. It means you have to acknowledge the deadline with some process towards the work. So I go to where we post the assignment. I scroll down. I had started it here. The first requirement, requirement 1, is my planning sketch. And you can have more than one. So now I'm going to take that JPEG and I'm going to turn that in. And by doing that, I have acknowledged the deadline. On the course outline, this assignment is due next class. But what happens if you just really lose track of things and something comes up? There's always unforeseen obstacles that come up. I'm going to make it about half the screen size or half the window size. Now I have turned this in. That will show turned in. It shows that I'm thinking about the assignment. And even if I don't turn anything else in by the deadline, I will get 1 out of 3 points. Right? If I don't acknowledge the deadline and I let that deadline get by me, I'll get 0 out of 3 points and I'm not able to ever return to it. But if I get only 1 out of 3 points, I can go back and I can improve it, work on it, resubmit it any time in the semester for a new grade. All right, now I've got that. I posted it. It's there. Good. Now I'm going to make use of it. So the next step is to bring your sketch into Photoshop. So you're going to take it off of your phone, out of your email, open it up in Photoshop. This is what you'll do, because I know it can be complicated that I'm digitally sketching. But you are going to right-click, put that file from wherever it is, the photo of your sketch. It can be multiple sketches. And then get it onto the desktop, and then you're going to open that sketch with Photoshop. You're not going to create a new file that's the right size and bring the sketch on. You're going to open the sketch in Photoshop. When you do that, it will come in at its native resolution and its native format. So this is 6 by 6.8 inches by 6.8 inches at 350 pixels per inch. But that is not what my composition is. My composition is inside that. So we're going to learn a new technique. We're going to use the Move tool. We're going to click on our rulers. And if your ruler is not showing, hit Command R. That will help your rulers show up. Click on the ruler and bring down what's called a guide. And you're going to bring those guides on the top and bottom of your desired sketch and to either side of your desired sketch. And it will turn it into a rectangle. Now we're going to use a new tool that I never use without guides, because this is a dangerous tool. That new tool is underneath the magic wand. We've now used all of these top tools. So this is the crop tool. And the crop tool is going to get rid of pixels. And we're going to drag the corners of that crop to the guide corners. And then hit return. Now, don't worry that I've lost all my notes. They're all there in Canvas. And if you have it in your physical sketchbook, they're all there in your physical sketchbook in front of you. But what this tells me is the physical format of my landscape, right? So right now it's 1.88 inches by 4.129. I need to make that print quality, print size. So once I've cropped to the edges of my sketch, I can do little things. I can hit Command T. Actually, I have to duplicate it first. Command J. Command T. And if I didn't draw a good rectangle when I did my sketch, I could right-click and use Distort to make it fit the space. Right? Or I might do little things like distort it this way. because I like that composition better.